Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Bankole Adebayo Fernanda, and in this YouTube channel I teach Scratch tutorials, and this is like my very first video on this YouTube channel. Please check my other YouTube channels. This is not the only YouTube channel I have. So this video is mostly for the beginners, those that don't really know Scratch, those that are new in Scratch. And in this video I'm just going to be introducing all the blocks in Scratch to you. So without wasting time, let's start. So first, you can see at this side the blocks. These are the blocks. And what are these blocks used for? These blocks are used for the code. This is where you are going to be putting your blocks. Like, I can remove these blocks and put it over here, and that will run my code. For example, move 10 steps. If I click on this, you can see that the sprite is moving 10 steps. So you can understand, these are the codes. These codes are what animates your sprites. When you bring all of them together, what you want to create. So first, let's start with the event blocks. The event blocks are what starts a code. This is what you use to start a code, unless you go to my blocks. My blocks you use to make your own blocks, and you can use that to start a code too. So in events, you see in the event you see the codes to start the blocks to start a code. And this the last two, which are broadcast, and the two broadcasts, they are not to start, but they are just at events. So this when flag click, you can see this flag over here. This flag, when you put your mouse pointer there, it says go. This flag is what starts your code. So you can use when flag click or when space key pressed. Maybe if I get this out of here and I press this space, you can see there are many more options to choose from. And when this sprite clicked, when you click the sprite, you want something to happen. When backdrop switches to, I'm still going to talk about what backdrops are and what sprites are called. And when this one, when loudness 10, and this, if I click here, I see I have timer 2, and I have when I receive message. When I receive, I can broadcast a new message. In my remaining videos, I am going to do tutorials on all of these, and these broadcasts are also under when I receive message. You can make a new message. So next, the controls mostly go after the event, which are the blocks that starts a code. So they mostly go under them, but it's not every time. For example, if you want this sprite, it's called sprite, to move 10 steps, we can start from event that when we click this flag here, that it will move 10 steps. So it's not every time, but it's mostly put after the event blocks, which are the blocks that start a code. So they control. So as you can see, the name control the sprite's movement. For example, if you want something, maybe you want the sprite to say something. When you click the flag over here, you can say maybe when flag clicked, and maybe you want it to before it talks to wait for about 2 seconds. So you can say when flag click, wait 2 seconds, and then say whatever you want it to say. Yeah, so they control the sprite movement. Let's go on to motion. Motion is the motion of the sprite, as it says, the movement of the sprite. You can use motion to control the movement of the sprite. For example, as I showed you, move 10 steps. I clicked on it. If you can look at the sprite, the character is moving 10 steps, turn 15 degrees. If I click on it, it's turning. The sprite is turning, then turn the other way 15 degrees. If you can look at the sprite, it is turning. can see all these things. You can see glide like that. There are many of them. And looks all these blocks, all this code, they have a meaning by their name, by their name. Look at looks. It's about what, for example, some people, if you go to looks, look at looks. Now some people may be wondering that what's the reason that say hello is in looks. It's not meant to be like somewhere like sound, but it is looks. Is in looks. You know why? Because this, if you go to sound, you can make like, you can record your sound and make the sprite to talk like that. But if you go to looks, when if I click on this, look at this sprite. Can you see what's on top it? Click on it again. Can you see? For 2 seconds, it's going to say hello. That you're looking at it, so that's your looks. So that's why it's in looks, because that's what you are seeing with your eye. If it's in sound, you won't see it with your eye. You will only hear it. That's why it's in look. You see? Say hello. There is no time lapse for that. And after, just tell you, after this green flag, you can see the next one is that red shape. That pentagon means that you should stop that code. And let's move on to sounds. Sounds is after look. Sounds is what sound you'll be hearing, as I said earlier. For example, if you say play sound meow until done, can you hear that? Can you hear that? It's what you're hearing. Start sound meow. Can you see that? Can you see the sound? You can even, I'm still going to show you some things. You can record your own sound and name it something, so that you are doing an animation, you want to sprite say that. Don't worry, there's a video that I'm going to make on about that. Let's move on to sensing. Sensing, as it says by the name, is just sensing. For example, I'm still going to show you some other things at the extension. The extensions are at this side of the code, at that side. So just sensing is like, for example, look at this first one, touching mouse pointer. Like if something is touching the mouse pointer, if I click here, I can see another one, edge. Maybe you want something to bounce if touching the edge, so there's a block there that says bounce if on edge. So look at this edge. So maybe you want to bounce, so you can look at, if you go to your control, you can see if, look at this block that my mouse pointer is going around. If this thing here, then if you can say if touching the edge, then bounce. Can you see that? So that's for the sensing. The operators, they that's the way that the sprite can operate. For example, you can see like this plus this, you can even use them to do mathematical equations and variables. Now variables are simply what name something, what name a particular thing. For example, you did a game and you want there to be something, maybe something up here that will say your score. Like in a game, maybe there's something up there, like a score. So as you should be recording your score, maybe after doing something to record your score. Yes, you can make a variable named score and program it that when this happens, that you should add one to it, which will still be coming up in my other videos. So please watch out. My blogs, you can make your own blogs. The fact is this, that when you're making something, maybe you're coding something, whatever, animation, a game, or a saying, there will be some times when you're coding, that you have to duplicate many other blocks on the same thing. So the truth is this: in Scratch, or let's say maybe any other programming language, when you duplicate blocks, when there are too much, for example, there's one large block, one large code, and for one reason you have to duplicate it because you want to do something else, like on the same code, or the same, like this place that my mouse pointer is going on, where you're going to put your blocks. Now, when it's too much, sometimes the code may not run as you want it to be. It may be confusing for Scratch itself, for the programming language. So what you're meant, so there's nothing you can do. You can go to my blocks and make your own blocks. If I click on make a block, you see this. Look at block name. I can make a block name, and I can do, if I write anything, I can add input text and do something else. So that's what about my blog, so that you'll be able to reduce the, so that, because when you have two codes that like the same, you have to, it may become confusing and it may not work the way you want to be. So you can make a block, which will be coming up later in my other videos. So I just explained to you all the blocks. Now look at this place. This is code. If I go to the next one, costumes for example, look at this is costume 1. Look at this costume 2. Any sprite you make has its own costume. Some sprites have like 13 costumes, some particular sprites. I know about two of them. Two of them have that. So for example, maybe you want to do a code of a cat walking. When a cat is walking, starts like that and goes next like that. So you can do something like, after, maybe you should switch to costume 2. Look at sounds. Let me play the sound for you. This is meow. I can make it faster. Can you see that? This is the actual. I can make it faster, slower. You can make it louder. Can you see that? So there we go. And up here you can see these two things. You can redo or undo it. Do something, you can copy, you can paste, you can copy to maybe something new, you can delete, reverse, robots, fade out. We have, so this is Scratch. So look up here. This is Scratch 3.0. So it has, and so like there are different types of Scratch. This is what we call a sprite. This is a sprite. This is scratchers, or for animations are called sprites in Scratch. Now let me click here. Can you see here? Choose a sprite. You can, yes, choose a sprite. You can paint your sprite. You can make your own sprite. You can do like surprise. Surprise means if you click on it, anything that's maybe like a random choosing, anything that Scratch gives you. That's why. So you can upload a sprite. Maybe if I click on upload a sprite, maybe you go to your libraries, and you can see maybe some things like I was making a project on this to do programming on this before. So look at this. If I click on this now, it will upload to the Scratch project itself. Though I'll do this later. So it's going to upload. It's going to go there. So if I click on open, you will see it is, look at that, importing. It's importing. You can see it now. It appears. I can delete it now. Just want to show you. Now if I go to choose a sprite, if I want to look at, there are so many sprites. Let me bring this up here so you'll be able to see the sprites. It's loading. Look at them. So many sprites that you can use to animate. Animals, you can see so many animals. People, see people, and we have what we call fantasy. Like, look at this centaur, crystal, all these things, ghost, dragon, Frank, dance. You can see there are dance. There's dance here. If you notice, when I click on them, I didn't click on them. I only put my mouse pointer there. They start showing some moves, which are the costumes. I told them that some are many costumes. Can you see that? Nice. So we have many of them. Go to all. We have animals, people, fantasy, dance, music, sports, food, fashion, letters. We have many of them. Then backdrop. What's the backdrop? Backdrop, look at this place. This is a sprite over here. Everything around it is white. Why? Because there's no backdrop. This is where we see stage backdrop 1. If you see my mouse pointer, this is not actually, this is just a white thing. But we can, as for the sprite, we can, as it is for the sprite, we can choose a backdrop, paint your backdrop, surprise, and upload a backdrop. So let me show you backdrop. We have all fantasy, music, sports, outdoors, indoor, space, on the water, pattern. We have all of them here in Scratch. Look at all of them. There are so many. You can use it for your coding. So thank you for looking at this video. So look at this. This over here, after the Scratch logo, look at here. This is like a word. First, if I click on it, you see many languages here. Then if I go to file, for example, maybe your computer saves, maybe you want to save what you have done, so you can make a new project. You can load maybe a project you've done before from your computer. You can save this project that you just done to your computer and edit. Maybe you mistakenly deleted the sprite. You can restore sprite. If I click restore sprite, that sprite I deleted will come back. And then we have turbo mode after the restore sprite. And also, if you're new in sprite, there are tutorials here. And don't worry if you are getting confused. If I click this tutorials for new people in sprite that don't know things about sprites, don't worry, I'm going to do a video, I think, about all of them. I think be able to do on all of them. So if you're getting confused, like I don't really know much in sprites, I can help you out to learn all these things. Can you see? You can even also, we have all animation, art, music, games, many of them. On all of them, can you see all these? Look at this cat over here. Look at this place that says size. I can reduce it, so let me say 70. Can you see it became smaller? But for all sprites, it will always appear as 100. But look at me, if I put 1, come and see what I was gonna say. Well, it can't do 1. Look at that tiny thing. Can you see where my mouse pointer is? That tiny thing here. So it cannot do 1, 2, 3, and 4. It can only do 2, 5. So you can even rename your sprite. Let me name this sprite, let's say cat. It renames itself. So there we go. And this is X and Y. Look at what I'll do. X and Y is the position of the sprite. If I change this X to 0 and I change this Y to, I can put it, yeah, it's already at 0. It's the same thing. 0, 0 is in the middle, and this is how it will all be when you first do your pick out the sprite. So just for an example, let me go to sprite and choose one sprite to show you these things. If I click on this balloon, it will come out there and it will appear here. But there are sometimes, for example, let me give you an example. You're doing a project and you uploaded sprites, or you're picking sprite. You find that all of them are here and you want to deal with them one by one. As you can go to looks, go to hide. If I click hide, that sprite will hide. If I click show, it will show back. But for now, I don't need that sprite. So if you go to Scratch projects over here, on Scratch project, you can rename your project. Let's say introduction. You can see that, but when you first pick out a new project, this is the project name is going to bring out Scratch projects. So I hope you understood all that I've explained. Let me check. Is there any other thing? Yeah, I've not explained this side actually. This side, if you can see where my mouse pointer is this place, it means to reduce the size of this. Maybe you have a large amount of code. You if you click on this, you become bigger. And maybe you finish doing a game or something and you want to enlarge it to play your game. If I full screen color, I can see this. So I think that's all. But let me just do an example code. Let's make the cat walk. Let's make the cat move. Let's say 10 steps. I will go to my events. I want it to happen when I click this green flag. So when green flag is clicked, I can go to my motion, the movement of the sprite, and say it should move 10 steps. So let me enlarge this. Bring this to this side. And if I click this, it moves 10 steps. Click, and it moves 10 steps. Can you see that? You can delete. If you want to delete something, you can either click this place and just right click and say delete block, or you could just bring it back inside here. Just put it anywhere at that side. So let me just explain the last thing, costumes. I didn't really explain much about costumes. In costumes, look at this sprite. This sprite, you may want to, if I click here now, I may want to just do some adjustments. Everything you do here will appear over here, so you may just want to do maybe some adjustments, right? And if you don't like what you did and you want to redo, you can do this. If I that's it about here. Don't worry, another tutorial I'm going to do many things about, maybe costumes. Here I'm going to do a video. So you can flip. Look at, if I press flip horizontal, it goes the other way. Maybe you want two cats talking. Then if you click on this place, if you right click on this right, you can press duplicate, and I can bring this right here. It's just the same thing. And this one over here, maybe I want the two of them to be talking. I can flip this horizontal, and then the two of them can talk. Oh, maybe I can even change the costume. Can you see that? This one is this way. They're running to meet each other. Can you see that? So that is it. You can even flip vertical. Can you see that? I flipped it vertical. It may me sometimes you need to do that. So think about the way it works. So that is it. As I believe I've explained everything on Scratch when you're starting to on Scratch. So please watch out for more videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Put on the notifications. Have a nice day. Please watch this videos. Watch my videos. I will upload more videos. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. New Scratchers. I hope you get along with Scratch. Bye. God bless you.